are you receiving from? So like I said, impartations. So this is how I was. And listen, you don't quite understand the kind of hunger I have. Because for me, because of my predestination, I have a spirit that can soak. So no matter how deep a man of God is, I realized that when I come close to that man of God, within months, I have encountered the man of God's mantle in the spirit. And now, what used to be like wow to me is no longer wow. Because it's like a school, it's like a class in school that you have attended, you have written your exam, you have passed. So when they bring those exam questions to you, like you can handle it. So it wasn't happening out of pride, it was happening out of growing very quickly. But this was me. I'll see another one, another great gift, and then I'm there. So I grew through that as well. But let me tell you something. Because if not by God's grace, because of the work I have to do, Him doing this, which I'm about to share, I probably would not have broken out of it. Now, I've been saying this a few times. I've said it on radio twice. And then I have said it also on the Money and Working for God series. And then I've said it privately to those that I train and I mentor, some. But people, I realize, Ghana, we don't ask questions. And this is an attitude we have to address. Because if you don't ask questions, you don't grow. God has sent me not only to my country, Ghana, but to nations. So with each nation, God helps me to know the attitude of the people. Just like when you take the Israelites, there is an attitude that was found in Israelites. God called them a stiff-necked people. A stiff-necked people. Do you know what God calls us Ghanaians? He calls us a presumptuous people. He says we don't ask questions because we are a presumptuous people. Those of you who are teachers, you know how to take dictionary and check that word presumptuous. What does it mean? That is your homework. That God is saying this about Ghanaians. If you like, you can test the word and check. When you check the meaning of the word, check yourself. Check the home you are coming from. And measure the meaning of the word with the attitude you have and the attitude in the home. And the attitude in the nation. Then you begin to see that God does not lie. Because he's not a man that he should lie. Now, if we don't ask questions, we have a problem. It means we presume A is A when A is B. Can you imagine what that does to your growing up? You learn the wrong things. This is a serious issue. I saw an intelligence quotient ranking globally recently. And if you see where Ghana is, it's sour. It is sour. But I'm also speaking to other nations, not just to Ghana. So if you go to that same intelligence quotient or quotients, if you're Nigerian, you see where you are. If you're South African, you see where you are. Why? What is our problem? Has it become a self-defense tactic that we act ignorant in the guise of we know? Or vice versa? Think about those words. So, good. So I said, I've spoken about my encounter with Jesus. But the only question I ever heard somebody ask me that was close to a question was it in a dream or a trance? There is something significantly wrong with you not being interested in seeing Jesus. And it is revealed by me telling you I've seen Jesus and you don't ask questions. Did you hear that? It is revealed by me telling you I have seen Jesus and you don't ask questions. It means you don't want to see Jesus. Deep down inside, you are not hungry to see Jesus. Why is it that you are not hungry to see Jesus? Maybe because you have been told that it's for a special select few people. Maybe because you tried that before and you couldn't break through. Whatever the reason may be, you know. It comes back to our presumptuous nature as Ghanaians. Because before I ever saw Jesus, whenever I heard somebody say they had seen Jesus, I felt like a little child who had met Father Christmas. Like, wow, really? There was always this excitement in me, like a little child, to want to see Jesus. Where is yours? We're going to connect that to the importance of discussing this issue about who are you receiving from? And why don't you have a hunger to see Jesus? Are they Jesus? Or you have put them in the place of Jesus? You are assessing your heart now then. Why are you not hungry to see the Lord? And you want us to talk about marriage, straightforward. What does marriage speak of? Some of you use it in your weddings. What's the scripture you use? Ephesians chapter 5. Some of you used it. I speak of Christ and the church. Therefore shall a man leave his father and become one with his wife. Some of you used it. So we should talk about marriage, but we shouldn't talk about your relationship with Christ. That is why, that is the beginning of marital challenges. Because the marriage has gotten an image that is not consistent with Christ and his church. How can it be consistent? You don't even have the vision of it. Because you don't even want to see Jesus.